Well, good morning. We begin here at 8 o'clock with a live look from our Rose City Sky Cam as we keep an eye on the heavy rainfall across the area on this Weather Impact Alert Day. Good morning. I'm Matthew Herchick. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday. With the increased rain, there is, of course, an increased risk of landslides and a flood watch that is in effect. We have team coverage for you this morning. Corey Johnson and Chris McGinnis are monitoring road conditions for your morning commute. And meteorologist Rod Hill will have a more detailed breakdown of your forecast. We'll get to all of that in just a minute. But first, we are following breaking news out of North Portland where police say that one person has died after being hit by two cars. PPB has closed off this stretch of North Columbia Boulevard between Van Houten and Macrum. We're going to get straight to Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz, who's at the scene of the crash. Thomas, what have you been able to learn?
Yeah, look, and Matthew, that investigation is still well underway. Again, responding here, police did around 4:30 this morning after that man died. They said after he was hit by two separate vehicles. Let's show you some video from what this looked like a little bit earlier this morning. Again, that investigation still well underway. Police telling us that it's unclear right now whether or not weather played a role on this. That is something they say it's likely it did, but has not yet been determined. Of course, this investigation is still underway. And while this investigation is going on, the road here, North Columbia Boulevard, has been closed between North Portsmouth and North Van Houten Road. That has led to traffic being diverted off of this roadway. And look, anybody who knows this area knows North Columbia is a very busy stretch here, especially in the morning hour commute. And it's not just cars being diverted, it's also semi-trucks that we've seen being diverted off of North Columbia Boulevard. Back out here live, though, you can see once again right behind us, that investigation still going, has been going on since about 4:30 this morning. We asked Portland Police how long they expect this to take, when they think the road will be reopened. They said right now, it's just too early to know for sure. Back to you.
Our Thomas Schultz reporting live this morning. Thomas, thank you very much. We'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, turning back to our weather impact alert, and Rod Hill, you've been tracking this for several days now, and we're right in the thick of it.
We are, again, billed to be a 3-day rain event yesterday, today, tomorrow, into tomorrow night over before you wake up Saturday morning. And we talked yesterday that a day of steady rain yesterday, and then by this morning, with heavier rain rates moving through the area, we would reach the point of being waterlogged. And that's kind of where we are right now. Reports of hydroplaning out there. We do have rivers running out of the Coast Range, not all of them, but the Grays, up in the Willapa Hills, and then in Tillamook County, the Trask and the Wilson Rivers cresting this morning above flood stage. Those river levels expected to stay at least somewhere near flood stage for the next couple of days as the water just continues to roll through. Also Johnson Creek above flood stage. Also the Pudding River near Aurora above flood stage. Here's our state capital, 48 degrees, the rain coming down. Be prepared for high water spots or standing water on roadways at times. We're at 48 degrees right now in Portland. We have the impact alert again all day today, tonight, all day tomorrow. Right now we're at 48. Temperatures will hold steady in the 40s for the remainder of today. The breezy wind reports are almost completely gone at this point, so there is that. Winds have quieted down. Here's Chris.
A pretty rough morning commute out there. We did have at one point 6 or 7 crashes on the freeways alone. Now the freeway crashes have cleared, but we still have some significant residual delays. Here's one of them. I-5 up near the Discovery Trail crossing. So right near Main Street, it is slow and go from there 3 miles down to the Interstate Bridge. And not that that's all that unusual, but it's extra slow this morning in the rain. I-205 South, we did have an earlier crash on the southbound Glen Jackson Bridge. That cleared, but it's still wet and slow there. And as we look at the drive times, how about that? 45 minutes right now will get you in from Hazeldale to the Fremont Bridge. There's a live look, by the way, at the Interstate Bridge. Let's see, door number 2 should take us over to the Banfield. We had an earlier fender bender here as well. That has cleared. Your drive coming in from Troutdale at last check, about 28 minutes. Matthew? Oh, we'll go, I guess we're gonna head down to Lake Oswego. And Corey Johnson, Corey, wasn't expecting you, but it's good to hear more about that closure of Highway 43. That's a big deal.
Yeah, good morning, Chris. We are right now along Highway 43 in the Lake Oswego community. We're just north of Terwilliger Boulevard. I want to show you this closure that we've been talking about all morning right here along this stretch. It's due to downed trees. It's Highway 43, this stretch, all the way to Midvale Boulevard, where we are seeing that closure in place currently. As you can see from this live view right now from our Drive 8 camera, lots of crews out here this morning, and they have been at least for the last 2 to 3 hours that we've been sitting here. So we're not only concerned about closures and roadways along I-5. We did experience some hydroplaning and lots of cars slowing down this morning, but we're also keeping an eye out on that flood watch that's currently in effect for parts of northern Oregon. For example, the Johnson Creek, different areas that could rise quickly and as we see periods of heavy rain. This is video from in December during an atmospheric river we had where flood stages rose. For example, according to NOAA, Johnson Creek flood stage is 11 feet. It's predicted to reach 11.6 feet later this morning. And if it gets to 13 feet, homes could be impacted, but officials say that's not expected and no evacuations are planned at this time. But emergency officials do say there are a few warning signs people should watch for near waterways. PBOT saying if the water in a creek or stream suddenly turns muddy or the flow changes quickly, that could mean flooding and debris is moving downstream, and with flooding conditions possible, safety officials also say it's important to avoid walking or driving through flood waters and to stay away from fast moving creeks. But also keeping in mind that if you live near creeks or just driving around early this morning in parts that may be flooded, it's always important to have a safety kit handy for you in the event of an emergency. Guys?
Corey Johnson reporting live for us this morning. Corey, thank you very much. And the heavy rain moving throughout the area prompted a flood watch with some creeks expected to rise quickly. And you can take a look here at this landslide that occurred in the Corbett area. Officials there are working to, of course, clean that up. But we don't know at this point with the rain and the current conditions how long it may take for those crews to be able to get that area cleaned up. Of course, stay with KGW as we continue to track this morning weather on this impact alert day, both on KGW Plus and KGW.com. We knew this morning South Pacific Highway in Woodburn was closed last night as crews worked to put out a fast-spreading fire. According to the Woodburn Fire District, the fire started around 6:30 Tuesday evening at what they're calling a shop structure. It quickly became a 2-alarm fire with several other departments responding to help. Now, crews worked throughout the night to put the flames out. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. And authorities have arrested a woman they say started the fire outside a Northwest Portland restaurant, causing significant damage. Portland Fire and Rescue say this person in this surveillance video, 56-year-old Catherine Stowe, was using an open flame as a light source to look inside garbage cans outside Elephant's Delicatessen. They say she unintentionally sparked the fire, which spread to the building of their flagship location at Northwest 22nd and Davis early Tuesday morning. Nobody was injured. Stowe is now charged with reckless burning and criminal mischief. And all Portland Community College campuses will be closed again today with thousands of staff now on strike. This is the first community college strike in Oregon history. Union members say they're looking for an annual pay increase of 3% over 2 years, citing a need for a living wage.
Their last offer was 0% in the first year and 4% in the second year. And so that doesn't keep up with inflation.
The college president herself got a 2.5% cost of living adjustment, and they're not even offering us that much.
PCC says it's been dealing with a multi-million-dollar budget deficit, declining enrollment, and has already cut pay for some managers and non-union employees. Mediation is set to resume on Monday. Well, it is 8:09, time for another check of the forecast with Rod Hill, and it's been a very active morning, Rod, to say the least.
Yes, again, day 2 of a 3-day rain event that wraps up tomorrow overnight. This is proving to be, as we said it would be, the biggest atmospheric river of the winter season in terms of the rain amounts that it is dropping over the 3-day period. Flood watch from the Weather Service continues into Friday night. We have the impact alert up during that period. It's all over by the time you wake up Saturday morning. An additional 2 to 3 inches of total rain expected for today, tomorrow, into tomorrow night. Coast Range rivers and Willapa Hill rivers, not all of them, but many of them have been above flood stage this morning, for the most part cresting this morning, and then holding somewhere near flood stage the next couple of days. The Trask, Wilson rivers in the Tillamook County included, the Grays River up in Wahkiakum County. And then also we have the Pudding River down in Aurora. We have Johnson Creek out on the east side as well, dealing with flood stage to above waters this morning. Tillamook up to 5 inches plus over the past 48 hours. Portland over 2 inches for the past 48 hours, and over 1.5 inches in Vancouver and Kelso. Here's the radar right now. Notice dry Eugene, dry Seattle. So we're right in the bullseye of the current rain flow coming through our area. The white is snow up in the Cascades. However, it's 40 degrees up at Government Camp, and that's just wet right now. Those conditions could go the other way, so make sure you're prepared if you are driving up into the high country. We're in the 40s right now, including 48 in Salem. We'll stay steady in the 40s with the rain here on the west side and the flood watch. Some light rain potentially in central Oregon, but all dry in Burns, John Day, Baker City. The 2-day impact alert with the flood watch continuing today and tomorrow. Saturday's dry, 54. Still be a pretty sloppy day with the aftermath. And then we have a light rain projection in the forecast for Sunday. Here's Chris.
Hey, Rod, thanks for that. I want to start with an update from TriMet. We reported on this earlier with some max red line delays from PDX, upwards of 15 minutes because of an earlier mechanical issue there. Now we're hearing of some eastbound delays from Providence Park. So delays there eastbound from Providence Park to the airport, upwards of 15 minutes. TriMet says those may be going through about 8:40 or so. So anyway, if you're taking the red line, plan a few extra minutes for your drive or your commute this morning. Speaking of the drive, it is wet and slow. There's the look out of Clark County at Main Street and I-5. There's the I-205 southbound commute from SR-14. Both of those are running pretty thick this morning. Not as bad as they were, but still slow enough on that side of town. We'll switch gears, give you a look at some of the other drive times. Tripping from Hillsborough right now, 26 minutes on the inbound Sunset. Matthew?
Chris, thank you very much. Still ahead, after a winter marked by a lack of snow, the Washington Cascades are set to see several feet of fresh powder this week. How truckers and families are handling the wintry conditions along the Snoqualmie Pass. Plus, the war in Iran now being described as a war on global trade, how the U.S. is strategizing as military strikes intensify. I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
It's 8:14. The mountains in Washington have seen heavy snow and strong winds. Our sister station in Seattle drove up I-90 from Seattle yesterday, and look at this, semi after semi parked on the shoulder. Oversized loads not allowed over Snoqualmie Pass. Then about 10 miles from the summit, a sudden standstill. Road conditions really started to shift when they took the Snoqualmie Pass exit. WashDOT had plows out working to clear slush-covered streets. You were almost better off getting out of the car and walking. One family, though, did make the most of it.
I grab a snowball and then somebody else tries to throw it at me. I duck down and then I throw it at them.
Yeah, for 9-year-old Sophia Damon, it was certainly a day to experience Snoqualmie Pass covered in snow. And moving to the Cascades, the Northwest Avalanche Center is warning people of high danger on Mount Hood. These are photos from a previous avalanche. The center is warning that avalanches right now might be easy to start and could run naturally. So if you're planning on heading to the slopes, remember to stick to groomed trails. Chains or traction tires are also required if you are heading up to Mount Hood. And yeah, with all of the fresh snow that they've gotten, that certainly increases the risk, right?
Yeah, whenever you have this big shift of this much moisture coming at once, all the slabs of the snow become unstable for obvious reasons. So, so yes. So I'm doing some checking. This is very beneficial. We're going to get up to 50% of normal snowpack from what's happening right now. We started the week at 37% normal. If you're wondering, last year, a year ago, let's just talk about Timberline. A year ago, Timberline had a 161-inch base. Wow. We're going to get up to 90 inches for a base today. We're going to be looking at about, about 290 inches by the end of the week for the season up at Timberline. A year ago, they had 428. So that gives you a comparison of how off pace we have been. But if we can just get up to 50% by the end of this week, which I think we will, and then hold there or better, we will at least stay away from record low territory. So there is that. 24-hour snow report. Timberline's picked up 20, Meadows 15. The Mount Hood snowpack, again, has gone from 37% of normal to 45% of normal in just the past couple of days. And we're probably going to get up above 50%. Either, if not today, tomorrow. So that's good news. This is the car of our photographer, editor, Jay Lundenberg. He was up at Meadows skiing yesterday. At the end of the day, that's what had fallen on top of his car. Again, the news is good. The snowpack is making improvements. All right, well, this is interesting. Wow, yeah. We've been talking about this all week. Not all week, all morning. This morning seems like it's been a week. It was 40 degrees the last time I looked at this camera. It really was. It was 40 degrees, and it was just wet. Look at the temperature in Government Camp now, 33 degrees. So the front, which is kind of stationary over us, has slipped through a little bit, and just like that, it's 33 degrees, and we're starting to get some snow over Highway 26. So as we've been telling you, don't assume that conditions are going to stay present. They could be fluctuating, and there's signs that you better be prepared for winter weather up over the high country. All right, atmospheric river flow continues. Again, this is the biggest, baddest, wettest atmospheric river of this entire winter season. There's a steady rain, which basically takes hold north of Eugene and then does stop short of Seattle. So Portland's right in the middle of the bullseye of rain that does extend out through the gorge. Now, Futurecast shows Portland staying steady rain this morning, steady rain 6 o'clock. Now, this may be fool's gold. It shows that the steady rain bullseye shifts to our north tomorrow morning, and then Portland's kind of on the southern edge through 4 o'clock. And my point is this might be farther south than what this is showing. If you look at the precip grid data where we get actual numbers printed out every 3 to 6 hours, they show we're just going to be in the steady rain all the way through Friday overnight. So we'll see. Portland 48, the Dalles and Pilton 48, and Salem 48, and Bend 48. Really popular number. All right, 49 today in Salem. South winds still gusting in a few scattered locations of the Mid-Valley, but the winds are starting to calm, and pretty much we've got winds already down to 15 in southwest Washington, where the flood watch still continues for all areas. Again, that flood watch does not include you folks once you get down into Lynn County and Albany. Flood watch today, tomorrow. Impact alert continues. The dry Saturday, a touch of light rain developing on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday look dry. I've got St. Patty's Day as the first 70-degree day of the year. We call that what?
Awesome.
Oh, I thought you were going to say luck of the Irish, but I'll go with awesome.
We'll get awesome.
All right.
And luck of the Irish. In the meantime, we still need some help here down in Lake Oswego and between Portland and Lake Oswego. Down trees have blocked a section of Riverside Drive just north of Terwilliger Boulevard. We've got a live crew here stationed here. You can see they've got the road closure signs, and We just took a call into the newsroom suggesting that Midvale Road, which is one of the local streets that folks have been using to get around this detour, is now partially blocked with another crash. So we'll keep you posted on that. But in the meantime, the detour around that is going to be Terwilliger Boulevard. Back to your freeway drive. I-5 from Clark County, slow and steady still from Main Street. I-205 still heavy across the Glen Jackson Bridge. Your drive times break down like that. Back to you, Matthew.
Chris, thank you. After the break, the cost of war. Lawmakers in D.C. learned the price tag for the last week of strikes against Iran as President Trump sends mixed messages about when the war could end.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Well, the war in Iran continues to escalate with Iranian strikes near the Strait of Hormuz threatening global oil supplies. As the U.S. and Israeli attacks intensify, the conflict is spreading to Lebanon. NBC's Richard Engel has more on the widening crisis with worldwide impact.
What looks like a tiny jet is an Iranian Shahid drone smashing into an oil depot in Oman near the Strait of Hormuz. Part of those Iranian strikes aimed at driving up prices, hitting infrastructure, and attacking ships near the strait. An Iranian official now saying the world should brace for oil to reach $200 a barrel. A military spokesman saying, "We will never allow a single liter of oil to pass through the Strait of Hormuz for the benefit of the United States, the Zionist regime, or their partners." Iran's strategy is now clear: a war on global trade. So the more Iran suffers, the more everyone else will too. But as Israeli and U.S. strikes on Iran's military aircraft, leaders, and bases intensify, Iran's capabilities are going down rapidly, U.S. and Israeli military officials say. President Trump says he's not finished degrading Iran yet, but maybe soon. Ophir Falk is a senior advisor to Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu.
We are degrading their capabilities almost back to the Stone Age. And pretty soon now, we're going to pass that torch to the Iranian people, and they'll need to seize the moment.
And this morning, Israel's Benny Gantz, a former defense minister and Netanyahu critic who says he put aside his differences with the prime minister during wartime, saying they're hitting Iran's leadership and military in order to clear the way for the Iranian people.
We hope to set the conditions for others to make a decision. That's, I think, the way we should look at it.
But it sounds a bit like a strategy of smash everything and hope for the best.
You could simplify it like this, but basically, look, we know that things that has to do inside Iran are for the Iranian people to decide.
In Lebanon, the war between Israel and Hezbollah is escalating dramatically. Israeli warplanes bombarded Beirut's southern suburbs and South Lebanon after Hezbollah reportedly launched more than 150 drones and rockets at northern Israel.
That was NBC's Richard Engel reporting. Meanwhile, in California, an FBI memo warning that Iran may try to launch drones at the state in a seaborne surprise attack raised concern Wednesday. But law enforcement officials and Homeland Security experts have cautioned that it may not point to an immediate threat. Multiple law enforcement and intelligence officials say there is no known or specific threat, which was issued a week ago and distributed to local law enforcement by the FBI's LA office.
It's being investigated, but you have a lot of things happening, and all we can do is take them as they come. And the war itself is being prosecuted as well as anybody has ever seen, and this is other countries telling me too. Big countries, powerful countries.
California Governor Gavin Newsom said on X, quote, "While we are not aware of any imminent threats at this time, we remain prepared for any emergency in our state." The steady rain, landslides, and flooding is making its mark all across Oregon. How two teenagers came to the aid of two hikers in the gorge in a daring rescue. Plus, we're breaking down how the Blazers sold state leaders on using public money to renovate the Moda Center. We'll be back after this.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, a morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community, or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between. We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We are coming up on 8:29 on what has been a pretty tough morning commute. All that said, with all the water that's out there right now, the freeway drive now is actually about as good as it's been all morning. And there still are some slow spots. 31 minutes right now, Main Street to the Fremont Bridge on the I-5 commute. Inbound Sunset, about 30 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. Rod, we still have that closure in Lake Oswego as well. Highway 43 just north of LO closed because of downed trees.
I suppose it could be worse out there. I'm surprised some of your times aren't higher. Take it easy. Hydroplaning is something we've been talking about this morning with all the water on the roadways, the green, darker green shades and yellow, some good moderate to even heavy rain rates. You can see it's absolutely steady now. The rain is extended here in the last little bit down south through Albany. Look at the water log on the green and the fairways at Persimmon Golf Club out in Gresham. So obviously it's going to be a tough day to work or play outside. We're currently at 48. The rain will not stop. The flood watch continues through tomorrow, as does the KGW weather impact alert for the wet weather. I do believe we will be dry when you awake Saturday morning.
Good morning. We begin this 8:30 half hour with this live look from our sky cam in the Dalles. You can't see a whole lot because the heavy rainfall is just about covering the camera there. I want to thank you for waking up with us this morning. I'm Matthew Herchick, and of course, with the increased rain, there is increased risk of landslides and flooding in our area, as our meteorologists are calling for a weather impact alert. We do have team coverage for you this morning. Corey Johnson and Chris McGinnis are keeping an eye on the road conditions in your morning commute. But first, we're checking in with Rod for a breakdown of what all we can expect today.
Yeah, the bottom line is we had the setup day yesterday. It was just raining all day, and now we've reached that waterlog point. We've had 2 inches of rain in downtown Portland going back to just 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So we have river flooding with rivers cresting above flood stage in the Coast Range this morning. We also are watching the Pudding River down in Aurora above flood stage, Johnson Creek above flood stage. The Clackamas River investigated expected, last time I looked, honestly I haven't looked since about 4 this morning, expected at that time it was projected to hold a good foot or so below flood stage. But obviously, you know, we've got high water spots, ponding on roadways, hydroplaning, all that mess. The snow level has lowered rapidly in the last 30 minutes up in the Cascades, where it is now snowing again over Government Camp. That snow level could bounce literally between 4,000 and 5,000 back and forth during the day today. Down low, it's just steady rain. Here's Salem, 48 degrees. Notice the wind report, calm. The gusty south winds we had yesterday during the day to 30 plus and last night to 30 plus, those winds have finally ended, and now it's going to be a variable 5 to 15 mile per hour wind day. We're at 48 degrees in Portland. We have the impact alert up again today and tomorrow. Steady rain all day today, temperatures in the mid 40s. As you look at this map, with a little bit of light rain potentially in Central Oregon, but dry in Burns, Baker City, and John Day, rain through the gorge in Pendleton. Matthew showed you that Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles where it's steady rain as well, and rain at the coast. Realize we still have a couple more inches of rain to come, maybe 3 to come before it totally shuts off Friday overnight. So the flood watch today, tomorrow, the partly cloudy skies Saturday. We should wake up to dry weather, a touch of light rain Sunday. For your plans, it's a Shamrock Run. And then I think we have a couple of pretty warm days on Monday and on St. Patty's. That's not a typo. I think we get it 71 on Tuesday. Chris?
Was it almost 80 last year?
I think you're right.
Yeah. So I guess it is doable. Spring's not far away. All right, we start off with this, an update on the Max Red Line. TriMet having some delays both directions now because of some issues, A, near Pioneer Square and B, near the airport. So expect delays of upwards of about 15 minutes on the Red Line. Back to the freeway drive. Obviously, it's been a soaker. The early morning commute was rough. We had 6 or 7 freeway crashes this morning. They have all cleared. We're still seeing some residual delays. 31 minutes right now on the I-5 drive, Main Street to the Fremont. Inbound Sunset is just shy of 30 minutes. These really don't tell the story of how bad it was earlier this morning. So 100%. From that perspective, we are getting a little bit better. I do want to remind folks about this closure down on Highway 43 because of downed trees between Lake Oswego and the Dunthorpe neighborhood. And we've got Corey Johnson live on the scene at that road closure. Corey, any updates?
Yeah, good morning, Chris. We've been out here for several hours. Unfortunately, no updates as far as this stretch reopening. I want to turn the camera around so you can see we're along Highway 43 just north of Terwilliger Boulevard. Still closed, multiple crews out here, and they have been for the last several hours. Now, on these side streets that we've been on, ponding out on the roadway that we've seen early this morning along I-5, also some moments where we were hydroplaning. So when steady rainfall like this continues, it's important to keep in mind the roadways, clogged storm drains, and reduce visibility all possible. And if you're out this morning on the roads, the National Weather Service and AAA does have a few tips for drivers. Make sure to slow down and leave room for other drivers. Cars can hydroplane on even the tiniest bit of water. So keeping that distance really can help. Don't use your cruise control and stay focused on the roads. Make sure to turn on your headlights, and it's not only helpful for you but for other drivers to do that. And most importantly, if you come across a flooded road, make sure to not drive through it. Just turn around and avoid that stretch of roadway altogether. And PBOT officials also saying their crews are working around the clock during storms to clear hazards like downed trees that we've been seeing, landslides, and debris from storm drains. Officials also say the best advice during storms like this is to allow yourself some extra time, especially, we've been seeing these closures already early this morning. That's going to create quite a delay for you if you're headed into work or another destination. We've already seen cars taking that detour onto Terwilliger Boulevard, and I'm looking at the line right now. It's very, very slow, so you'll definitely want to heed those safety tips. Matthew?
All right, Corey Johnson, we'll certainly keep an eye on that throughout the morning. Thank you very much. And of course, stay with KGW on this Weather Impact Alert Day. You can find all the live coverage and latest updates both on our website, kgw.com, and streaming right here on KGW+. Meanwhile, we are continuing to follow breaking news out of North Portland, where police say a person has died after being hit by two cars. PPB has closed off this stretch of North Columbia Boulevard between Van Houten and Macrum. Let's get straight to our Sunrise reporter, Thomas Schultz, who has been live at the scene of that crash. Thomas, what have you been able to learn?
Yeah, well, Matthew, that is actually blocked off from Van Houten all the way to Portsmouth, too. That's an additional block there. And you can see right here between Van Houten and Clarendon is really where this investigation is focused right now. More than half a dozen police cars on scene here, focused on this stretch where they say a pedestrian was hit by two cars and died here on scene. This was at 4:30 this morning, so this investigation is now 4 hours long here. It's unclear if weather played an impact on this. We reached out to Portland police about that. They said, look, it's likely, but it's too early in the investigation to determine that for sure. That's something, of course, they're still looking into. Both drivers involved did remain on scene, according to Portland police, though with an investigation like this being as long as it is, going on for as long as it is also having a significant impact on roads here, especially along North Columbia Boulevard, where anybody up in North Portland is well aware. This is a very busy stretch of road where a lot of commuters and a lot of semi-trucks travel every single day. Already this morning, we've seen hundreds of cars being diverted around North Columbia Boulevard, and it's not just cars, it's also semi-trucks too being diverted, so a really significant impact on the roads. And you can see right here, it doesn't look like this investigation is going to be wrapping up anytime soon. We also asked Portland police about that to see if they had any indication of just how long this investigation will take. They said it was just too early to know for sure. Matthew?
Our Thomas Schultz out in North Portland reporting live. Thank you very much, Thomas. 3 people, including a Washington State Patrol trooper, were hurt during a high-speed chase on I-205. That happened last night around 11:30 near State Route 14 in Vancouver. According to the fire department, Vancouver police were trying to arrest a wanted person during a traffic stop when they took off. After hitting the spike strips, the driver was still speeding before they crashed into a State Patrol vehicle on I-205. One person was treated for serious injuries, another for minor injuries. And in the last couple of hours, we've learned the trooper was taken to the hospital with minor injuries and has since been released. The NBA commissioner and others have essentially said that the Moda Center has to be renovated to keep the team in the Rose City. But how did the Blazers sell political leaders on using public money for the upgrades? Evan Watson explains.
How do you convince politicians to pay $865 million to renovate an arena? For one, Rip City Management and the Portland Trail Blazers sent a pitch deck pointing to civic pride, economic growth, and the desire to make Portland a destination city for national events. The team highlighted a few other NBA arena projects, saying comparable markets like Charlotte, Oklahoma City, and Indianapolis primarily used public funds. The graphic didn't include examples like Milwaukee, where wealthy team owners and taxpayers split the cost 50-50. The Blazers also included a toolkit, talking points to support a Moda Center revamp. The new ownership group includes billionaires. Why can't they pay for the renovation? There are limitations in Portland. Paul Allen's previous private financing was an outlier, and an additional $600 million on top of the $4.2 billion sale price is not possible. And importantly, does renovating the arena mean the Blazers will stay in Portland? A long-term lease for the Moda Center will commit the Blazers to playing in the building for the duration of that agreement, the team said, as long as public funding can be committed. The city of Portland, which bought the Moda Center in 2024, says it will negotiate a new 20-year lease with the Blazers this spring as part of its funding deal. Mayor Keith Wilson said he was thrilled state lawmakers recently approved $365 million for an arena upgrade to be repaid by taxes on Blazers players, staff, visiting players, and performers.
It's going to allow us to keep the Blazers and allow all those families that have grown up with that fantastic team and entertainment to really enjoy that for generations to come.
The city of Portland and Multnomah County are planning to pay about $500 million combined for their part of the upgrades. These public documents include unpublished renderings of a potential Moda Center renovation, concepts of a new exterior, and a new bar and suite area. Rip City management ultimately sold politicians on the risk that the Blazers could leave, writing, "In smaller markets like Portland, where venues cannot generate the same amount of revenue as teams in big markets, public investment is necessary to secure the long-term future of a team." So far, elected leaders have signaled it's a price they're willing to pay.
Really important story there. Really appreciate that, Evan Watson. All right, let's get you out the door. The roads it's still slow. Believe it or not, they're in better shape now than they were an hour ago, but we still have some trouble, namely this. So we're hearing from ODOT that Highway 43 had reopened. Photojournalist Chad Dehart was actually on the scene just a couple of minutes ago, and from what we can tell, 43 is still blocked. Not only that, but we got word that a truck was involved in a crash on one of the detour routes on Midvale Road, which leaves Terwilliger at this point as your only solution to get between Lake Oswego and Portland near Tryon Creek. So just know that that road is really backed up right now as you make your way out the door. All right, the freeway drive still wet, still slow in a couple of places, of course. In fact, it's still slow in all the freeways are slow. Right now, it's about a 40-minute ride to get you in from Wilsonville, about 30 from Hillsborough to downtown. Matthew?
Chris, thank you. Well, after the break, hear from two hikers who are alive and recovering thanks to a couple of teenagers after taking a nearly 500-foot fall on Mount Hood.
Hey everybody, here at ShopTVDeals.com, we love to bring you products that we've tested and that we love, and boy, what an amazing deal we have for you today. Let me introduce you to the Mirage Gala Series 3-piece luggage set. Normally, this would cost you about $450. Today, though, you're getting a deal for $149.99. That's 67% off. That's a huge deal. Let me tell you why it's a good deal. Check out the luggage itself. First, hard shell cover, extremely durable. On top of that, very, very lightweight. Then you have these great hooks on the side, like you're leaving the airport, you need a place for your umbrella or your bag or what have you. Great here. You have a TSA lock back here, strong handles, an adjustable handle here in the back with 3 different heights. But here's the real winning feature. Check out these wheels, 4 360-degree wheels. You practically will glide through the airport. It's so mobile, so easy to use. Then here on the inside, check it out. You have these cross straps right here on this side, keeping things neat and organized. And then the zipper component on this side doing the same thing. Keep everything nice, tight, and organized. Plus this big pocket giving you even more capacity. And again, can't beat the deal. 67% off all of this for $149.99. Basically, 3 bags for the price of 1. Check out the QR code there or go to ShopTVDeals.com.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
It's 8:45, and in the Columbia Gorge, 2 hikers say they feared for their lives after getting lost on a dangerous trail before teenagers came to the rescue. Now, on Tuesday, hikers Drew Miller and his friend Joseph Barch set out to explore the Rock of Ages trail, which has been closed since the Eagle Creek fire. A post on Instagram, though, made it seem like the trail was open, but by late Tuesday night, conditions worsened and the 2 friends nearly fell off a 500-foot cliff.
We're prepared for moderate, whatever that means, but it turns out it was very difficult.
It didn't look good. And I know my friend was not doing well either, because he was kind of next to me to try to stay warm, but he was like shaking like crazy, and it was starting to affect his breathing. We were soaked. And then it started to snow again.
So they called SOS, alerting Multnomah County's search and rescue team, and a couple of 17-year-olds ended up coming to their rescue.
It's like they couldn't see where the trail was, and there's cliffs on either side, so it's definitely treacherous.
We gave them food, we boiled water for them. Dry socks make a world of difference when you can't feel your toes.
Now, it took Sadie Walsh and Liam Ford about 2 hours to find the hikers. Thankfully, a positive end to that story there, Rod. Certainly dangerous conditions. You're up on the weather deck.
Yeah.
How are things up there right now?
I don't think we talk about the wheel being a big invention throughout the course of humankind, mankind. I don't think we give the roof enough credit. The roof is a wonderful invention. I am dry thanks to the coverage here from Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. I'm hearing the raindrops all around me. You can see up over the West Hill, so the cloud deck is low, but it's not foggy at low elevations like sometimes it can be during these rain events. Big story is the flood watch and the fact that this is day 2 of steady rain that probably won't stop in Portland at some point Friday overnight. This is the wettest atmospheric river in terms of rain amounts being dropped that we have had this entire winter season, more so than the 2 episodes we had back in December. So here's what we're looking at. The new development over the past hour has been this. This is Highway 26 Government Camp. Notice the temperature now down to 32 degrees. When we started sunrise this morning, it was 40 degrees. The snow level had gone up to 5,000 feet. We talked about the fact the snow level could fluctuate today. Well, now it's down to 4,000 feet. And it may, in fact, bounce and go up to 5 and down to 4 again today. So be prepared for changing conditions. But right now, the snow is back on Highway 26. Okay. Up in the Cascades, by the way, Timberline reports 20 inches of new snow over the past 24 hours. We have the KGW Weather Impact Alert with the flood watch up from the Weather Service today, tomorrow, ending tomorrow overnight. This will be over by the time you wake up Saturday morning. Steady rain, heavy at times. Be alert. Expect high water spots. Expect the fact that you may catch some hydroplaning moments as you're commuting. So just be on high alert as you're traveling around our area. There's the atmospheric river flowing in to Oregon and Washington at this hour. Here it is on radar. Doppler radar is showing that the rain has actually started to extend southward over the past hour, getting down closer to Eugene. It's been a fairly quiet morning up in Seattle. We do have a winter storm warning continuing for the Cascades of Washington and the snow advisory basically for the North Cascades of Oregon. All right, moving on. There's a closer look. Again, this is steady rain now back into Astoria and Newport. Okay, I mentioned, I believe I told you, we picked up 2 inches of rain in downtown Portland since 5 p.m. yesterday afternoon. And this shows we could have almost another 3 inches to come before it shuts off overnight tomorrow night. Good grief. All right, temperatures outside are holding in the 40s to about 50, and that's where we're going to be all day. 48 in Portland and Salem right now. Forecast numbers, the south winds that were gusty yesterday, last night, early this morning, they are over. Salem 50, Southwest Washington also reporting fairly calm winds at this hour with daytime highs and a flood watch in effect in the 40s to about 50 degrees. All right, 7-day forecast. Just the 2 days of the flood watch and the impact alert today, tomorrow, but the dry Saturday does look increasingly likely. We'll get a touch of rain on Sunday. All right, it is birthday time. That rain on Sunday would be light stuff. Okay, our birthday party starts with Houston. Houston, 3 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Stevie is 7 today. Happy birthday to you. Bonnie is celebrating 68 years young. Happy birthday to you. And put your hands together for Walter. Walter is 92 today. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a wonderful birthday on this 92nd year. How about that? All right, we'll celebrate with you. Birthdays at kgw.com. Chris, when you're undercover, it's not bad outside.
Okay, I'll remember that. So we'll all drive around with a canopy up over our car. You've got plenty of road spray to deal with, despite the fact that maybe the rain's not as heavy now as it was earlier this morning. But still a soggy commute. It's been a slow one. The drive out of Clark County still rolling along at about 30 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge, I-205, as I just showed you. That's running slow across the Glen Jackson. We'll take you farther south, rolling out of Clackamas and north up towards Foster and Powell. You can see the northbound 205 drive here. That's also quite thick near Johnson Creek Boulevard. And last but not least, this is still heavy on the Banfield in the rain. Your westbound I-84 commute coming in from Troutdale, averaging 30 minutes at last check. We will be back after this short break.
I'm David Molko, the evening anchor at KGW. Though when I'm not working, I like to spend as much time as possible out here in nature. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. You see, what happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to talk about it, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Well, in our top stories this morning, we are following breaking news out of North Portland, where police are investigating a deadly crash. Officers responded to Columbia Boulevard and Clarendon Avenue and say a pedestrian was hit by 2 cars. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. Both drivers are cooperating, and several blocks of Columbia are closed as the investigation continues. 2 hikers said they were fearing for their lives after getting lost in the Columbia Gorge. On Tuesday afternoon, these hikers set out to explore the Rock of Ages Trail. That's been closed since the Eagle Creek fire. It took about 2 hours for the rescuers to find the hikers, who have been on the trail for around 17 hours. And 3 people, including a Washington State Patrol trooper, were hurt during a high-speed chase on I-205. That happened last night around 11:30 near State Route 14 in Vancouver. According to the fire department, Vancouver police were trying to arrest a wanted person during a traffic stop when they took off. After hitting spike strips, the driver was still speeding before they crashed into a State Patrol vehicle on I-205. One person was treated for serious injuries, another had minor injuries. And this morning we learned the trooper was taken to the hospital with minor injuries and has since been released.
All right, the weather impact alert up today and tomorrow. The flood watch from our friends at the Weather Service covering our region into tomorrow overnight. So basically we think steady rain today, tonight, tomorrow. Should be dry on Saturday. Increasingly likely at this point that there will be at least some light rain on Sunday.
The early morning commute was pretty rough. At one point we had 6 or 7 crashes on the freeway. I'm happy to tell you in the last hour or two things have improved, but the weather has not. It's still really rainy out there, and you can bet that the normal slow and go is going to run a little bit later and a little bit slower, and your drive times right now I think do reflect that. Let me hit the button. There we go. Wait for it. Wait for it. Don't worry. You're going to wait. 36 minutes. Wilsonville to downtown. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at your plight here. 30 minutes to get you from Hillsborough. And a quick check of I-84 or I-5. That's still a 31-minute ride from Main Street.
Well, this forecast certainly giving meaning to the phrase "working for the weekend." Looking forward to Saturday morning.
Saturday should be nice, and don't forget, right now we could see our first 70-degree day on Tuesday. Now we do that because I'm partial to the Irish. I'm not Irish, but I'm partial to the Irish.
I'm Irish, so I appreciate that. Hey, a reminder, you can catch Sunrise every day live exclusively here on KGW Plus starting at 7 o'clock. We've also added another half hour of news at 12:30 and 5:30 here on Plus. We hope to see you then. Have a great